Good evening, everyone. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host and coach, Aditya Sisodia. And for those of you who are watching this recorded version, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week where we catch up with those difference maker, with those individuals who have created a name and path for themselves. Today on 31st Jan, we are in the first month of 2021. We have got another amazing speaker lined up with us. And the topic for the day is around mompreneur. As a coach, as a business mentor, I get a lot of females who are returning back from sabbatical, a lot of business leaders, especially women. And one of the common challenges for women at workplace is to establish themselves. Today, Mitali Thakur, our speaker for the evening, is no exception. She has made a mark for herself. She is an MBTI practitioner. MBTI is a psychometric tool. She is an international business etiquette facilitator and trainer. She has presented her work across UAE, Bangladesh, Thailand, Sri Lanka, you just name it. She has traveled across the globe. Above that, she is a mom of two beautiful kids, wife of a very lovely person, and she's the founder of PeopleKraft Training Solution. I have invited Mitali. She's a very good friend of mine and an amazing human being. Mitali would be sharing that if you are a female and you would like to create opportunities for yourself, you would like to expand your business, and above all, you would like to create an ecosystem where you are empowering other people with livelihood. How can you do that? So, without further ado, let's roll the intro and invite her. Welcome, Mitali. How are you?
Hi, Aditya. Good evening to you and good evening to everyone who's watching the show today. I'm doing really good. I'm very excited to be speaking to you and to speak to like so many people about this subject, which is close to my heart, which is about being a mompreneur. So very excited.
Amazing, amazing. So, for all the viewers who are joining us live from Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, I would like to welcome you. And as always, we have got some special giveaway for the participant who participate and who stick till the end. If you are excited, do type in excited in the comment. We would like to see from which platform you are joining us. So, Mitali, please share a bit about yourself and the topic you have chosen for the evening.
Sure. So, my name is Mitali Thakur, and I live in Mumbai, and I've been a part of the learning and development fraternity for the past 15 years. And I am the founder of PeopleKraft Training Solutions, which is, I think, my third baby.
Wow.
I have two beautiful daughters and a lovely husband, and I have a great family. And because of the support that I have at home, I think I've been able to, I think, give birth, as I said, to the third child, which is PeopleKraft Training Solutions. And it is something which is keeping me super busy in life, and I'm very excited to talk about this entire journey today.
Amazing, amazing. So, Mitali, tell us what inspired you to turn from a working professional into a mompreneur. We would love to know about.
Sure. So, honestly, Aditya, work for me was something which has literally been a part of my life since early, I would say early life. So, I started working when I was just 19. Okay, I was still a teenager, and I wanted
Wow.
to experience like a job. So I took up a job at that age, and my parents were very supportive. They wanted me to, kind of do whatever I wanted to do in life and go after all my aspirations. So early on in life, I started working and I moved into the aviation industry. And when I joined the airline industry, I was very inspired by my trainers because I think that really changed me as a person. So the fact that I went through something which was life changing, I decided that I should do that for others. And I got into this entire, I got into training, into behavioral training, which is where we are actually, as you know, we are trying to drive a difference in the behavior of people and to make them just better humans. So and get them better, give them the skills that they need to perform their jobs better. So with that in mind, I think I started with my career, and I got into training. I joined a corporate, and I was working with a very good company, with an MNC, for some time, and I was taking care of the behavioral training arm. And I realized that there is just so much that I want to do with training. And at the same time, I realized that when I got married, I wanted to also give some time at home. And a corporate job where you're traveling 4 hours a day every day was something which was not something I wanted to do. So I decided to start something of my own and try to bring a balance in my life where I could work at the same time, give some time also to my family. So that's what actually drove me to start, I would say, a business.
Amazing, amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever questions you have for our speaker for the topic of the day, mompreneur, or anything you would like to ask us, especially our female audience, like what are the challenges that a women entrepreneur faces? How can a female prepare herself and brace herself? How can a woman leader constantly reinvent herself? You are most welcome to type it in the chat box, and we will shortly be highlighting it. Okay. So, Mitali, I have curated some set of questions, and with your permission, I would like to address them to you. May I?
Sure, Aditya. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, my first question to you is, because you have seen the pre-COVID and the post-COVID, and one of the question is, why did you choose this topic for our today's conversation, especially the pandemic and the COVID in scene?
Sure. So I think I chose this topic because honestly, I think for me, my career took shape largely after I became a mom. And as unreal as it sounds, I would like to highlight the fact that I really feel that being a mother made me get more serious about my career and about being a mompreneur. And the pandemic, well, I think we all saw a year which was pretty, I mean, full of highs and lows. And 2020 has been by far the most difficult year of my life too. And in a lot of ways, personally and as well as for the business, it's a year that saw so many lows, but at the same time it taught me so much. And whenever I spoke to anyone who is a mother, and there are so many of my friends who I know they want to really do something, and they're really struggling because they're thinking, what should I do? I have a child at home, and how do I manage work and a baby? Like, how do you do it? That's what everyone asks me. And I think to that I just simply say that just because you become a mom doesn't mean that you can't work. And I think that's why I chose this topic, because I love this term mompreneur. I've heard so much about this, and I thought, let's speak about it, right?
Amazing, amazing. So I have a we have got our comments from our YouTube and our Facebook viewers. So I would be showcasing them to you. And we
Sure.
have got a huge fan following, and we have got lots of love from Rivika and Mirika, and a lot of people are just waiting
uh,
for you. So the first question that we will be taking from our audience is from Nitish. So
okay.
Nitish has this question that as you're a self-made person, you have set your own company, PeopleKraft Training Solution. How do you manage your personal and professional space?
Okay. I think thank you, Nitish, for that question. And I'm glad I'm getting an opportunity to speak about this today. I'll be very honest with you. You have to just telling yourself that you are a superwoman. First of all,
Mm,
you have to
mm,
tell yourself that there are days when you can actually balance your personal and professional life. And then there are some days where I would say one needs more than the other. So
Hmm.
just to accept what's kind of going on in your life is what has actually helped me manage this well. One is to
Hmm.
accept, second is to also plan things better. So
Hmm.
I think a lot of your professional life falls into place if your personal life is, I would say, at ease. So how can you,
Hmm.
keep your kids settled? What can you do with their routines? And how can you ask for support at home? I think that is something which has really helped me kind of balance the two, the personal life as well as my professional life as a mompreneur.
Amazing, amazing. So here is the lovely message from your family, okay, on the screen. So tell me this thing: how are your kids supporting you? How is your spouse supporting you? How is your family? Because this is a common challenge and a
Yeah.
belief system that my family won't support me. So how do you set healthy boundaries in this regard?
So actually this is something which is a common, I think, concern every woman has, especially I think in the country that we come from. We assume that everyone around is going to judge us for being a mother, and if you are a working mom and if you're ignoring your child, they're going to actually say, hey, you're ignoring your child. But the fact is that if you're working, it doesn't mean that you're not really fulfilling your duties as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is very important to set certain expectations, very healthy boundaries, as you said. I love that term. It's important to set that healthy boundary, and I'll be very honest, Aditya. With my first child, I went crazy. Okay, I was a mother who was so obsessed because it was my first, and I wanted to do everything for her, like from changing every possible diaper to making sure I was the one who burped her every time she needed a burp. But honestly, I realized that, and that was great. And when I had my second one, that is when I realized that if I want to continue with my career, I will need to make certain choices, where build a support system for myself, where the children get used to the fact that, hey, mama needs to work. So and I'll be very honest, my husband and I, we shared responsibility. In fact, my younger one, you won't believe it. Even when I delivered her at the hospital, I was actually like on my phone and working. Then the doctor had to tell me, please, ma'am, you need to you need to stop now. So I still remember, but that's PeopleKraft needed attention. It was a new baby back then. And my second one, Mirka, she needed the attention too. So I made sure I got a very good, like a japa to take care of the baby. And
Hmm.
I know there were a lot of people who passed judgments on me, who said that, hey, why do you want a caretaker to take care of your baby? But
Hmm.
I knew that I wanted to work from home. I could manage the baby, I could manage my work if I have a uh, if I have an experienced person with me. And I think my husband and I, we shared responsibility, especially because PeopleKraft was taking a lot of my time. So I think that partnership really mattered a lot. So that support at home was one of the biggest, I think, most important thing for me. And honestly, I would have never got it if I had not asked for it, right? So, to all the ladies out there who think that they want to do something, I would just say that it's important to communicate and ask for the support that you need.
Hmm. Amazing, amazing. Now, I have a follow-up question, and this question is from Nitish only.
Okay.
Nitish has this: what challenges did you face? And I'm putting these challenges into the bucket of your early career, early motherhood, early marriage, and your early new business venture. So, what were your challenges in these four bucket, from motherhood to your first career to your first marriage? Sorry, it's the first and the
First
last
marriage,
only.
what? I'm the only one. There's only one.
First and the last marriage. And in your setting up your PeopleKraft training solution, what challenges did you face? And what's your secret to balancing all of them?
So maybe we'll have to slow the question down since there are so many buckets we put, right? But I mean, I can definitely say challenges were there throughout. So
Mm-hmm.
when it came to my career, and I think the kind of career I chose, one of the biggest challenge was, and the advantage was the beauty of training people, not just here in Mumbai or in India, but I had the opportunity to travel to more than 10 countries just to go and train people. And with being a mother, I think that became a challenge, right? Because I couldn't leave my baby. I couldn't leave her at home, and I couldn't, I couldn't make those choices to travel and train. So that's something, those were some of the challenges, I would say, and days, of course, when, say you want to really do something, but say the baby is sick. Like, these are things which are not in your control. So those are the days when there were challenges, but trust me, with every challenge I was able to find a solution. And I can say this very, very, very strongly today, that there is nothing that cannot be solved. So if you know that you're expected to be at home because your baby needs you or your family needs you. I had clients who were very supportive, who understood that, hey, maybe there is some reason for what, because I've never done this. I'm not someone who would give an excuse. Like, I don't give those excuses to skip work. And thankfully, the people I work with know that about me. And that's why when I did genuinely excuse myself out, they knew that there was a reason for me to do that. And with regards to the travel part and the training part, well, what I did was I developed a training team which was across so many countries. And I made sure I had training partners in every country, so where I couldn't travel, I was able to get the work done by someone else. And that's how we expanded to like over 45 trainers now globally.
Amazing, amazing. And in one word, if you had to say like what has helped you grow both personally and professionally, what would that one thing be?
One word, huh? Or can it just be like can
Two
it be
words,
like
three words.
2 words, 3 words? Well, I would say persistence, actually. That is one word. I
Mhm,
think I was persistent about what I wanted. I was very sure of what I wanted. I was very sure of what I wanted for the kids at home. I was very sure of what I wanted at home in general to manage my house. And I was very sure of what I wanted to do in my career. So once PeopleKraft happened, uh, there was no stopping me.
mhm. Amazing, amazing. So we have got a question from Poshali. Poshali is a management graduate, and she has a question for you that whenever you are starting a new venture, what are the things you should keep in mind? Like one of the things you mentioned is being persistent. What else would you advise? And if you had to start all over again, would you change anything? Like, would you become an entrepreneur at the age of 19, or would you let the events just go as they happened?
Poshali, thank you for the question. I think when it comes to starting your career and if you want to start a business, I think it's very important to have the right experience. Okay, and experience is something which is something that you're going through in your life at age 50 or 19. It doesn't really matter. So when you feel you are ready to start something of your own, one of the things to keep in mind is don't be afraid to fail. There are some things which will work, there are some things which won't. There are some projects which you are anticipating and you hope that it'll happen, and sometimes it'll come right till the end, and it may not happen, but look at the journey, look at what it's really teaching you, right? So some of the things to keep in mind is, uh, take things one step at a time. Like, start your journey small, don't run after don't compare yourself or your success to someone else's and go after it like that. It's important to just kind of look at small wins that you are kind of like small things, and go after that, rather than looking at, okay, I want to like just this, if this year has done this to me, the next year may not be the same. So just be okay, like, go with the flow.
And I have a follow-up question around this thing. Like you talked about the idea of growth mindset, where we have to be open to experiences and to the pain sensation also. And
Yeah.
okay, we have to be mentally prepared that we are entering into the domain of entrepreneurship where nothing is predictable.
Right.
What was that one defining moment apart from the long commute where you were like, okay, I'm not going to travel 4 hours, I don't see myself traveling 4 hours every day in the future? You took that leap of faith, because the reason people do not move out of their corporate jobs, and I'm not using the word comfy, people don't move out because people like, oh, I'm getting the salary every 30th, it's getting credited, why should I move out? And you and I can understand entrepreneurship is every day is the 30th or every day is the first. We never know when the next assignment would come in. So what was that one defining moment when you decided, okay, this is my life, this is my decision, I'll stick to it, I'm going to make a name for myself? What was that one defining moment?
I think for me it was when I told myself that it's okay if for 15 days I have no work. Literally,
Mhm.
I had to tell myself that chalega, no problem. Because when you are a
Mhm.
good person and if you're good at what you do, then you don't have
Mhm.
to actually go looking for work. I really feel opportunities come to you, and you just need to be able to grab the opportunities at the right time. At the same
Mhm.
time, I think what matters is your network, because
Mhm.
when you have the right kind of people in your network, if you have that I would say the support system even professionally, it really makes a difference. So early on in your life, when you start your career, the attitude you carry, the way you speak to people, it really helps you. Because I mean, just yesterday, you will not believe, Aditya, I met someone I had worked with back in 2011. So
Wow.
it's been, and that was something where I had just started my training as a career. So
Mhm.
when I met that gentleman, and he's this professor, and he's this very senior gentleman I have a lot of respect for. And I'm telling you, I had such a he actually told me, I still remember seeing you the first time in the training room and saying, "ये लड़की आगे जाएगी और ये कुछ बड़ा करेगी." These were his words, and trust me, it felt so good, and I felt like, wow, I mean, and I actually asked him, what made you say something like that even back then, and he said, because you have that attitude where you feel you don't stop learning. You always wanted to learn, and that is something I still see in you. And I think
Mhm.
that's something which we all need to keep in mind, because at any time, don't think you know it all. You really don't know it all, right? We're learning constantly.
So, as Steve Jobs said, stay hungry, stay foolish is the secret of
Yes.
growing. Amazing. So, next question I'll take from Shavik. Shavik has asked you this question. What kind of challenges and development do you think about the entrepreneurship domain one can face in the coming years? And also, I would like you to customize this, especially for the women entrepreneurs, women leaders, because in boardroom, you have also seen the representation of women in the board. So, what would you say? Be it the entrepreneurship or be it the board, what kind of challenges do women face, be it entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship, and what has been your experience so far?
I think the challenge, what I see for women, especially when it comes to career in general, and especially if you want to kind of start a business of your own, some of the challenges are about the fact that we limit ourselves. Okay, so whether it is in the coming years, or even if you talk about right now, what happens is we tend to kind of bring certain limitations to what we want to achieve, and we feel we will not be able to do it because we're comparing ourselves to the men around us. I would kind of very boldly say this, and I think we should stop doing that. That is something which women need to just realize, that don't compare yourself. Don't look at what salary your husband's drawing, what you're drawing. Don't do that. I mean, you never know, in the coming years. I don't know about challenges, but we'll be probably, you'll see a board where there are like 20 women and there's one man. So let's go after that. And how do you get there really is by being very sure of what you want to go after, and again, build the right support system. So for any woman, for any lady out there, whether you want to have a child or you don't want to have a child, whether you want to get married or don't want to get married, if you've decided that this is something you see yourself at when you are like 60 years old, and if you want to like travel the world, whatever it is, whatever your aspirations are, just be sure about going after that, and don't give up on that because you've suddenly decided to take the to get married or to have a child. We shouldn't, you shouldn't really do that. And the kind of challenges I see in the coming years is, well, probably the balance, right? I mean, I really feel that maybe the balance is something which is missing right now, and I'm hoping that that is something which goes away. And also, we need to innovate ourselves. So there were a lot of things which we were doing now or we were doing before, but we need to also realize that the world around is expecting us to evolve. So
Mhm.
innovate yourself and go after things to really don't hesitate to go and give those new ideas.
Amazing. So, the idea is to speak up and to speak up your mind and to be bold, if I may.
Yes,
Amazing.
absolutely.
So, next question we have got is from Suman. Suman is asking you, what was the inspiration or the idea behind starting your own training firm? Didn't you feel overwhelmed? Oh my God, I'm moving out of MNC and I'm going to start my own organization. And that too,
Yes.
where I would be taking global assignments, not local, but global assignments.
Yes, Suman, thank you for the question. I think honestly, the business is something which started just about, like in 2018 actually. And before that, I was freelancing, and it was a business, but the company was not as such an existence. So, how did I get the idea? Well, I would say, as I was saying before, right, opportunities kept coming, and there were opportunities where I felt that if I wanted to do everything on my own, honestly, I would have had to work like 24 hours of the day. So that's when I realized that I need to get more people in the team, get people who will be able to do things with the sincerity that I do. And that's really how it really happened. It was something which was an opportunity, and one opportunity that I took, and I was able to, literally give a company trainers where they felt, hey, you actually saw someone, and it's amazing. And in fact, for the international the global trainers, Aditya, that you just said, I still remember my client coming and telling me, oh God, there is a big problem. We are looking for a trainer in Nigeria, and there is no way, we are not getting a single trainer. And I said, okay. And after 2 days, I went to them and I said, hey, I have three trainers. Would you like to interview them? And they said,
Wow.
what, in Nigeria? And I'm like, yeah, Nigeria, Russia. I mean, even in, Ghana, there were like places, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, whichever place they named. So one success is what actually led to the other. So
Mhm,
the idea happened, I would say, like from one simple opportunity. And then
mhm.
the concept for the business was just something that kind of kept, evolving from that one.
Amazing, amazing. That's good. So, how do you expand on your network? I would like to know, like, you have got those 24 hours only. So, how do you expand on this network? Because I've seen you going in for business meeting, going in for business meeting facilitation, workshop delivery, and that too networking. So, how do you take out time for yourself?
How do I take out time for myself? Well, that's the beauty of running a business, right? When you start a business, you can actually choose how much time you can actually dedicate to it.
Mhm,
And it does need, like as I mentioned, there are some days where you really need to give it a lot. There are some days where I have not slept like the whole night, and
mhm,
then there are some days when I've decided Tuesday, hey, it's a day off. So
mhm,
uh, it's really about that. Like, you set a goal for yourself, you decide that, hey, this is my goal for this month, and
mhm,
don't forget to celebrate the win. So when
mhm,
you've achieved it, don't go after it. Like, learn to say a no. That's something which I learned last year, because
mhm,
when I was able to look at my calendar and I realized that I'm overdoing something, then I
mhm.
had very subtly started saying that, okay, I'm not available today, and I find it very difficult to say no to people. But I learned that art, I would say, of saying a no, and that's how I was able to bring some time and some more balance into my life.
Amazing, amazing. And what's the idea behind the name PeopleKraft?
Well, PeopleKraft actually came from a very dear friend of mine, who actually, we were talking about how we are literally talking about crafting skills in people, and these are skills that really matter, right? I mean, we are not talking about just something. Behavior is so related to the attitude you have in your life, and uh, that's how PeopleKraft kind of just, it was just an idea over a cup of coffee.
Wow, amazing. So the next question I have is from Rakesh. He's a management graduate, and his question is, what is the scope for MBA professional to be part of PeopleKraft?
Thanks, Rakesh. Thank you so much for your question. Actually, PeopleKraft is something which is not just into training. So we are now we're expanding, and as a company, we have three arms. So we have PeopleKraft, which is into corporate training, and we have VideoCraft, which is into creation of video content, and we make learning videos, we make modules, we've even done some commercial ads. So and recently we've done a corporate video just last week, in fact. So we've got that. And the third thing which we've done is we've tied up with the Education Center of Australia, where
Wow.
we are bringing in a program for students. So for MBA undergrad students, if you are interested in knowing more about the program, you can definitely reach out to us through our website, and we'll be very happy to let you know how this can benefit your career in general. And
Mhm.
I mean, that is something which is like the third arm, which is what we call the Craft Academy.
Amazing, amazing. Now, a follow-up question is, we have got Sheetal and Aparna who are inspirational role models and team members. So, what is the message for your future team members? What is the benchmark you want to set for them that they should be aware about before entering into the PeopleKraft ecosystem? Because you are on an expansion mode, you are already doing global tie-ups and global program. So the people who want to come on board or people who want to prepare themselves for PeopleKraft, what would you like them to hone in themselves, especially their skills or their facilitation? Like you just mentioned, you have got three vertical. One is your training, other is your video academy, and third is your academic knowledge academy. So if anyone wants to come, what is that non-negotiable that you expect from them in general?
So this is a great question, and I think I have a fabulous team, and I think the team really matters, right? We are all moms, and
Mhm.
recently we have an intern who's joined our team, and he's like the little youngest one possible. But he's gonna learn so much with us because we're kind of we've hired him for our marketing. So
Mhm.
one thing which has happened with PeopleKraft in the entire last, I would say, 3 years is a lot of flexibility is given to the team members because we are working from home.
Mhm.
It's not like we are expected to come to an office. So the reason for this was something where I wanted to give opportunities to more and more moms, I would say, because I had work where I mean, there were work opportunities rather where I wanted to personally train them so that they could, and then of course certify them to make sure that the quality output is exactly what we want, what the client wants, but give them an
Mhm.
opportunity to come into work and to come look for something which is beyond what they've already experienced. And
Mhm.
at PeopleKraft, flexibility is given, but at the same time, I would say the team is so thick. I mean, there are days when we've worked Saturdays, we've worked Sundays, and as I was saying, right, there are days when if they need the time off because they have a sick baby at home, then we fill in for each other. So if anyone is interested in coming and joining the team, well, you need to know that we literally work as a family. We work together, and as you know, right, it's not about just these two or three people inside the company. We have 45 trainers. We are literally like you have to take care of. So managing clients, managing trainers, and managing the team, well, the in-house team is really strong together. So transparency and making sure communication is great. And we have this amazing concept of connecting every day for office hours. So what we do is we log in on Zoom for dedicated 1.5 to 2 hours. Sometimes we play music in the background and we work. So it just keeps us connected. And then there is nothing that we nobody knows what's going on. So every day we do that. So that's something which is the norm of PeopleKraft.
Amazing. Now, the next question I am picking is of Tanya Thakur. She has asked, what has been your experience in terms of challenges since you have worked globally?
Sure. So, thank you for the question, Tanya. And I think challenges across countries. Well, I would say that, see, again, when you work in different countries, now there are two aspects to this. One is when I have traveled and I've gone and worked in a country myself. uh, there is a lot of cultural difference, right? So that is something which you need to just adapt to. You have to realize the entire cultural diversity, and how you'll be looked at as a trainer who's traveling from India. So there are some places where you will get that the look that, hey, you're from India and you've come here to train us. And then there are some places where, oh my god, you're from India, the land of the exotic people. So you get those opinions from different places, but I think you should just let all of those opinions stay in their place. You go deliver and do a good job. Be
Mm-hmm.
sure, be confident about what you have gone there to do, and keep your focus on the work. A lot of people I know, they say, hey, travel, that means, thoda der kaam and baki time we'll just go and you want to like do so many more things, and I would say do both, but make sure your work is not
Mm-hmm.
compromised. That was one of the things I would say from the perspective of me traveling myself. The second
Mm-hmm.
thing is about managing remotely, right? Like imagine managing trainers in Russia, Ukraine, and me sitting here in Mumbai. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
challenges were the time difference. It was crazy. Like we had to figure it out at the beginning. Where okay, what time do we connect? That it's a time which suits you as well as me. So those are some of the challenges, but you come around. You come around those challenges as you face them.
Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing is do your homework. If you want to go international, know about the local cultural norms that would help you because you never know which country you might get your next opportunity from. Amazing. So, next question is from Simran, and Simran is asking you, how do you focus? What keeps you self motivated? Because there is so much noise when you are working, and especially in your role where you are a business owner, business leader, team contributor, mompreneur, wife, spouse, daughter, daughter in law. So, how do you keep yourself focused?
Simran, that's a very good question, and you're right. There are a lot of distractions in life, and
Mhm,
I wouldn't call them distractions really, but there are times when some other role that you play in your life takes up more
mhm,
takes up your time. And what I would say is when it comes to work, what has really helped
mhm,
me is the fact that one is a dedicated place to work. It's very important. Okay, as silly as it sounds, I think it is very important to set the boundary very subtly that hey, I need to work, and my door is going to be shut, and for the next 2 hours, you make your plan, right? You tell your children. I mean, I do that. I tell my children, okay, mama needs to work now, so now no coming into this room, and I make sure that I've given them enough activities. Okay, so they have to be busy. You have to keep your people busy. So that is something which you do and you plan for really well in advance. And the second thing is, I think a good mentor is what you need. So there are times when I think we tend to feel very, like I felt very low or demotivated, especially in 2020. It was a year where it was not easy to get new work, and I could have easily just shut shop and said, hey, I'm going to take a back seat, let this year just get over, because trainings were really, really, the training industry, I would say, really suffered because people cut budgets. And what they do when they cut budgets is they stop outsourcing. So then how do you run a business? Uh, Aditya, right? Like what all we went through, and like the kind of work we did in 2019, where there was no time to breathe. Like, 15 trainers working simultaneously and 20 days of the month. That's the kind of business we were managing. And then
mhm,
from that to, okay, now what do we do? Like the entire pandemic, it really caused so much of business loss. So
mhm,
mentors really helped. I think my friends who are literally like family have been supportive as well. The support from people at home, like my spouse, there are days when I've just gone and said, abhi nahi ho sakta hai, like there is nothing I can do. And he's just said that just relax, I'm sure that something will come around. It takes time. So to believe in the journey, and it's important to have those right mentors and also great coach. So I have a very nice business coach, and that really, the entire coaching that I go through with him is very inspiring. So that also kind of kept me on track.
amazing. And this is exactly our next question that Naveen has asked. That list of your client is endless and it's across industry and domain. How do you convince your client that they require training or professional upgradation, especially the COVID scenario? Madam, budget nahi hai, sorry, we are not taking in any proposal. So, how do you persist and how do you show value? Because we know that training is becoming more and more commercialized. Even if you
Yeah.
are 1 rupee less, people would rather prefer a person because it's being considered more as a checklist, calendar checklist, that okay, training ho gayi. So how do you ensure that the decision maker is like, I want my training to be done by Mitali only, I know she'll give me ROI on the program?
So you nailed it. You actually answered your own question. So ROI, right? We're talking about return on investment. So what I do is I don't really try too hard to convince. I'll be very honest here. There are times when if a client is not convinced, or if they come to you sometimes with a requirement which is very vague, and you don't have the solution. So if you don't have the solution, you need to you just need to be like, okay, I don't have the solution, and maybe I would actually give you some reference and you can go try that. So I think the fact that when it comes to convincing your client, the client should know that the product that you have will definitely have an ROI, or return on investment. So, for example, what we also did, which really worked well for us in 2020, was we modified and twisted and changed what our offerings were. So we were into classroom trainings, heavily into live trainings, and because of the pandemic, we had to quickly switch to online trainings. Now, the advantage was we were already a company who was used to online trainings. We would actually give cost effective solutions to our clients sitting outside India, because the cost of a trainer in an American in any American city, and if you want the same program to be delivered in English, and if you are okay with using an Indian trainer here in Mumbai, it would actually cost you so much less, right? I mean, and my Indian trainers are still happy. It's not like we are underpaying them. So I'm just saying, somewhere you have to look for that little bit of gray area where the client feels like, okay, you're actually thinking about me saving my money and you're giving me a cost effective solution. So cost, I think, Naveen, was one of the biggest factors which came to kind of convincing our clients, especially because we wanted to bring cost effective solutions to our clients.
Amazing, amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember it is important to pivot your business model during hard times. And remember, how are you adding value to the person in terms of cost? And you are making sure it's not a cost, it's an investment for them. Now, the next question I have got is from Tanya. And Tanya is asking, how easy or difficult is it to be an entrepreneur in India since you have operated globally? And especially for
Yeah.
female, how difficult or easy is it to be an entrepreneur?
Okay, so Tanya, I think when it comes to being an entrepreneur in our country, I would say it's not so difficult in any country. You can be an entrepreneur as long as you know what is it that you want to offer. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're sure of the product that you have, whether you are actually, I mean, who is an entrepreneur, right? We're actually selling or we're offering some products. So
Mm-hmm.
once you're sure, then it doesn't really matter. And technically, I think if you have a good chartered accountant, that's all that I needed, because I didn't even know how do I manage my accounts. So I just made sure I had a good chartered accountant. He really helped me understand how finances should work, because it was crazy. Like when I started, I was actually paying out trainers from my personal account. And I remember my CA telling me, "Ma'am, don't do that. आपको एक company बनानी पड़ेगी, उसका नाम से आपको एक account खुलवाना पड़ेगा." And I did that. I mean, I just went by the guidance. So it was easy, as long as, again, you have a mentor. So talk to people who are already in the background, who have already run their business, and find out. And I'm telling you, it's very easy. You have to just learn to not have an ego, really. Like, it's okay if someone thinks that you don't know it. It's okay. So I mean, I'm not hesitant to ask questions. I'm okay with going and saying, hey, I don't know this. And that was just something. And about being a entrepreneur in this country, I would say, as a woman, it is again something which you have to really go after and ask for support, especially from your family. You need it. Without the support, I mean, I just feel that it's better with the support. I wouldn't want to comment otherwise, but I'm just saying it's so much better and so much healthier when you have the support from your family as well as your friends.
Mhm. Amazing, amazing. So remember, have mentor, have people who would help you to make sure that you are doing a business and not an expensive hobby. Like Mitali just mentioned, she had a CA or she has a CA who told her, "Ma'am, please don't pay from your personal account, pay it from your business account." So the importance of having mentors and having people who are smarter than you, who can show you the right path. Amazing. So the next question we have got is from Nitish. Nitish is a management graduate pursuing
Sure.
his master's. So Nitish has asked, you started as a cabin crew in Jet Airways, and then you took the risk to start your own company to enter into corporate. You could have started a training academy for the air hostess. So
Yeah.
why did you okay, I should put it, what inspired you to, okay, if I have to think, let me think big, let me think out of my league. So what was that thing that sparked you?
So, Nitish, thank you for your question. Actually, when I started my career with Jet Airways, and as I mentioned, I saw my trainers there who really training was so important in an airline industry. It really like it's very important for you to be trained really well, and it shaped me as a person. Now, when I decided to move out of the airline industry and move into training as a field, I realized that this cabin crew training is something which anyway, you have these institutes. Once you join the airline, anyway the airline will also train you. But there are so many others out there. There are so many other people, especially young adults who are just moving into a career. There is so much that you can train them on, and that is something which, as a young trainer back then, I was just 24 and I was training others. So what I did was I took my experience from flying, from the entire diverse experience of travel, and I was able to put that into and I just decided to go out there and, as you said, focus on the big possibilities rather than just keeping my horizon very narrow and stuck to only the airlines. And I think good that I did that, because right now I think that is what has really helped me.
Amazing. So talking of this, Sunil Vishnoi has this question: what are your expectations from 2021?
Oh, well, Sunil, I'm glad you asked this. So, 2020, I had a lot of expectations, and it was not a year. It was not at all the year that I expected. 2021, my expectation is that I really feel that I'm thinking in quarters this year.
Hmm.
So it has taught me, 2020 taught me to think in quarters. And my expectation from the first quarter is I want to actually hit a revenue that I hit in 2020 the whole year. I want to hit it in the next 2 months. That's my expectation. That's my goal. That's what I'm going after.
Amazing. So next question I have is from Rakesh. Rakesh is a management professional. He is very promising, but he suffers from stammering. So
Okay.
he has this natural inbuilt fear of public speaking. And Mitali, as a trainer, as a facilitator, as a business owner, as a business rep, you need to speak in front of key decision makers, especially people who might be twice or thrice in age to you. So how
Yes.
did you polish your public speaking? Because don't take me otherwise. As a when you started in cabin crew, you do not speak much. It's
Yes.
more on your presentation. So how did you transform yourself into coming into the domain of public speaking and speaking up your mind?
Yes, actually, thanks Rakesh for the question. And I mean, you're absolutely right. You don't really, if till you don't really talk or till you don't really go out there, you'll always have the fear. So one thing is that you and I still remember the first time I ever trained. I could only hear my heart beating. I couldn't hear myself talking. Also, I was just so scared. And what I told myself is, literally, I told myself that what I know they don't know. Okay, it's all in
Mhm,
my head. So
mhm,
giving yourself a motivation, giving yourself the confidence to face really helped me. When it
mhm,
comes to public speaking, I think you have to just forget that there are people in front of you. Sometimes it's important to just practice, to kind of go and literally prepare yourself really well. So preparing yourself well is very important. Practice in front of literally the mirror. Practice in front of some close people or some friends, and go out there, like be ready. The first time you face public, there is going to be fear. And at that point in time, I remember someone had taught me this golden rule. Okay, so keep three corners in a room. Okay. So what you do is, when you're talking, and if you have a room full of, I remember once doing a training for like 500 people in one room, and I was so
wow.
scared. I was so scared because, and this is in Thailand, I was training
Mhm,
there, and there were 500 people, and I had to make a presentation. So I
mhm,
literally took a deep breath, and I told
mhm.
myself, okay, three corners. I'll just look on the right, look on the left, and look straight ahead. So people will think I'm looking at everyone, but I just knew the trick in my head. So small things like this, I think, really help you just, become more confident slowly, slowly.
And Mitali, does language also impacts public speaking? Because one of the common concern is that my English needs to be flawless if I need to be decent in public speaking. Is that a myth or is that a reality?
So I think it is very important for you to know your audience. Now, if your audience is somebody who is expecting you to speak in English, then obviously your language does matter, right? We need to polish our language. Now, today, if I have to deliver a speech in Marathi, I know that if my audience is going to expect me to speak in Marathi, then I will have to polish Marathi. So it's not about just English. It's about the audience understanding the language that will help you connect better with people. So whichever that language is, I think you should polish it. So if you know you're facing, and today the reality is that our, English is a global language. Everybody, all
Mhm.
corporates, wherever you go, all meetings are in English. We are having this interview also in English, right? So, I mean, yes, it is a very important thing. And at the same time, I feel at any age, you can learn to speak a language. Yes, early on, if you learn it, it's always great. But some of us have not had that background, and I really don't think it matters. So read books. Yeah, three corners. I'm getting that. I'm getting the comments of the three corners. Yes. So read books, watch shows. Literally, that's what will help you kind of pick up your language. And of course, we also have a course on English language at PeopleKraft. So get in touch with us.
Definitely. So you have got the website and the ticker peoplecraft.co.in. Hold for it. We have got some giveaways. After our event, just go and visit the website. So the next question is from Vinay. Vinay is asking, what is more important, how or why about starting a business?
How or why? Vinay, thank you
Hmm.
for your question. I would say it's most important to first answer the what before you start your
Okay.
business, right? Like first you look at the what is it that you really want to do, and then
Mhm.
you go after the why, and then I would say you go after the how. So there is it's like a process. You can't really just go after try to address all questions at once.
Amazing, amazing. So, Pampy has another question. She has experience in corporate and now she's pursuing her management. So
Yeah.
now she's at a junction where she needs to decide her specialization because management is again a mandate in the industry. So she would like to ask you, what piece of advice would you like to advise someone who is just starting out in a new field?
Okay, so I think, Pampy, if you're starting out in a new field, it is very important again to give yourself time to learn and to understand the field that you're getting into. And again, if you've already chosen a career and sometimes you want to switch also, it's okay. You have to learn to really be in love with what you're doing. So if you are starting out something, just ask yourself: is this something that you're enjoying? Are you going to enjoy doing this for the rest of your life? Like if you ask me, I would be happy if my daughters decided to be trainers. So ask yourself that question. Will you be happy if someone, if your daughter tomorrow, your son comes and asks you, Mama, should I do this? Will you still go and say yes? If you're going to say bilkul mat karna, ye to bahut hi bakwas career hai. If you're going to say that, then that means you also need to really reconsider what you're doing. So if you're starting out, again, look at whether you're enjoying what you're doing. That's very important.
And how important is the monetary thing? Because when management graduate approach me, I tell them MBA stands for three things: master of bad activities, maa baap ke arman, and massive bank account. So people are more driven. अगर इसको कर लिया तो life is settled because
Yeah.
they do not care about the job satisfaction. They care more about the bank perspective. So
Yeah.
how to balance incoming cash flow along with following your passion? What is your advice on that?
See, I'll just be very honest. Bank flow and cash flow will come if you work well, and if you start doing things passionately. Then eventually, even if you have someone who's more qualified on paper sitting next to you and doing the same thing, but if you're driving it with more passion, and I think it really comes out there. Dik jata hai, when you're doing something good. So it's not like ye karoge to hi ye aayega. In fact, if you get a job which pays you really well, be prepared. It is going to demand a lot of things from you. So it is important that you like what you do, right? Otherwise, eventually you will get frustrated. Then you will not be able to, do your job well, and ultimately you will be sitting and cursing yourself ki maine ye kyun kiya. So that is not something which I personally don't. I wouldn't want to go after that. And when you, again, I'm saying, trust me, without any expectation, when I started PeopleKraft, I had not even realized where I was really going. It was literally I went with the flow, and the money did come in. So it does.
Amazing. So this is the follow-up question which Poshali has for you, that
Yeah.
how to draw boundaries, that this is when I'll decide, okay, it's time for me to step back. This is worth for my visitor, customer, client. How to decide that, okay, this is the moment where I'll decide I would like to continue. I'll keep my head down, I'll be focused, and I'm not going to get tempted or distracted. How to draw that fine line?
So, when you're talking about, I think our question is more about whether the product that you have is worth the customers, right? I mean, so again, Paushali, it's very important to understand your target audience. So when you talk about the product that you have to offer, uh, sometimes your product may not be okay for everyone out there. So it's very important to understand whether it will truly make a difference to the customers. See, customers stay with you. Aise to hazar, you can get many customers for your product. It's not important to just sell. What is important, I think, and it really stays, is if the same people come back to you, then you don't have to run after sales so much. Then you have to just keep doing a good job, and then the same people keep coming back to you because I mean, they just know that this is what they want. So I think that is something which is very important to be sure of, that what you have to offer is something which is going to genuinely make a difference to them.
Mhm. Amazing. So we have got a question from Akshay, that you mentioned how you keep yourself motivated, but when it
Yeah.
comes in terms of your team, how do you keep them motivated?
So thanks, Akshay, for the question. My team, I think, honestly, I keep them motivated by making sure that uh, I think communication is very important, right? Like we connect, as I mentioned, every day we have time, and we sometimes connect to discuss, to not kind of meet for work. So that is very important to really know what's kind of happening in your teammates' lives. What is really going on. So
Mhm.
that is something which helps me just keep them motivated one way. The other thing we do is actually really fun. We have a carrot and stick that we use at PeopleKraft. So we have certain goals we set for the team, and so there is, if you do this, then you will get this incentive. If you don't do this, then this is what will be taken away. So we use this literal traditional way of carrot and stick, and I'm sure Aparna and Sheetal are laughing out there right now, because it's crazy. Literally, like on LinkedIn, we have this mandate that we've set, and this is not something that I tell them that I want you to do this. I sit with them and I tell them, okay, chalo, tell me, what do you think our business needs right now? We need a presence on the social media. Great, super, very good answer. So what do we do? How do we do this? Well, we should post more often on LinkedIn. Super. How many times do you want to post? Thrice a week. Great. अगर नहीं हुआ तो क्या करेंगे? And then they are like, okay, so then what do we do? So then I say, very good. Someone who doesn't post thrice a week, well, you create posts for the other team member. That's it. That's a stick. And it really
Amazing.
works.
Amazing. Matlab, and that's the idea of coaching, that you invite other people and then you encourage them, okay, come up with your own accountability and your own action. Amazing point. So Shavik is really inspired by the fact that you are a behavioral trainer. So he asked, what kind of behavior must you develop in yourself for being a growth mindset? You mentioned reading books, hiring a mentor or a coach. What else would you say?
Sovik, I think what's very important is to be very, very, genuine with what you do. And I think, you may have a lot of skills that your company that you work with will train you on. But, you need the will, you need the attitude. And that is something which is a behavior. It's just something that your behavior just shows when you have that right attitude. So when it comes to what attitude should you have, well, I would say literally, for me, what has worked for me is the fact that I literally treat people craft like a baby. Okay, so if my babies need this much attention, then I think my career also needs that much attention. And so that is something which is very important. So what kind of behavior, I would say, ask yourself what is the most important thing and what would you do to make sure that that stays with you.
Amazing.
That is what you should inculcate.
Amazing, amazing. So we have got a follow-up question from Pampi, what has been the biggest lesson of your work life or your personal life? And what was the lesson?
The lesson, well, there are many, honestly. There are many lessons.
Not
uh,
the yesterday one.
no, no, no. So,
Ah,
you know what? I'll be very honest with you. One of the things which I learned was when I started PeopleKraft, and I had had my second baby, right? So
hmm,
I know that there was a time when I felt very judged, okay,
hmm,
because I felt like as a mother I was being judged about. Okay, bacche ko, you're not paying that kind of attention which a child needs, and you're so focused only on your career. I mean, you are sitting in your room and you're taking calls from morning to afternoon. You don't know what the kids are really doing. And eventually I just learned to ignore, I would say, because I was sure of what I was doing. I was not ignoring my kids. My husband and I were taking, responsibility of what was going on. So between us, we knew what was going on. That ecosystem was very important. And I think the biggest lesson was that ecosystem needs to be very strong. So and then outside that ecosystem, I mean, your family, your friends, and the people that matter are the only people that you should really care about. Then if you have another friend who has a child and she's with that child 24/7, that's great, that's what works for you. But this is what works for me, and this is what keeps me happy. So I think that is just something which really was a big lesson for me, to sometimes just be okay with not being a superwoman, as I mentioned.
amazing. And now there is a follow-up question on your this thought directly from your near and dear one. So the so the question is for all the aspiring mompreneurs or the current mompreneurs, what is your one message to their near and dear one?
To the near and dear ones of all the mompreneurs, thank you, Tanay, for asking that question. And well, I would say that don't really stop your wife, stop your mom. To all the kids out there, to all the family members, don't judge. Like, I think it's very important as a family. You see the career of a woman in the family as important, and I think my family has done just that. So for them, whatever I do, I share it with them, and I always get a wow, God bless you, and I think that really motivates me. So to others, to all the family members out there, please encourage the daughters in your family. Don't think that because it's a daughter, she is meant to learn how to cook. That's not true. If you have a son also, please teach him how to cook, so that tomorrow if his wife wants to work, and if food has to be made, he can actually do that. It's okay to share responsibilities. So don't really put that pressure on your daughters or your daughter-in-laws to actually I mean, learn to just break the norm, right? I mean, I think we need to drive that change now, and let's change our men, and let's change the thought process here. That's what I would say.
Amazing. And this is just a follow up to what you mentioned. Simran has asked this to convince our colleague and our family members is more difficult as compared to an unknown person. Is it true for you? And what is your message for young aspiring women, females? How can
Yeah.
they prepare themselves to be confident and vocal? Because I see so many youngsters who walk up to me and they say, Aditya, we are not confident about talking about our relationship to our father, talking about our career choices, talking about our lifestyle choices to our family and to our friends. So, what can you share from your experience to be bold and courageous? How to be bold and courageous?
Yeah. So Simran, I think to kind of answer your question about convincing family members or your colleagues, sometimes it's more difficult. And how do you kind of be bold and courageous as well, Aditya? What you were asking. Uh, what happens to us is we are always trying to please everybody around us. So the reason
Mhm.
why we are even wanting to convince them sometimes is because we don't want them to be unhappy. We want them to be happy, and then that's why our happiness just takes a step back.
Mhm.
And I think somewhere what happens is, in that bargain you just end up constantly one step back, then you take another step back, and so on. and then eventually you realize that, hey, this is not something that I can keep doing for the rest of my life. You want to kind of set a boundary. So it's very important for you to know what are your boundaries. How much can you actually give up? I'm not saying सिर्फ खुद के मन का करो. That'll never work. You will need to somewhere bring a balance. There are times when you need to decide, that okay, fine, maybe today I need to do this and maybe tomorrow I'll do this. But at the same time, know your boundaries. You can't just keep giving up, and set your boundaries. And when you set your boundary, you be sure of that boundary. You be very very sure that अभी इसको मैं क्रॉस नहीं करने दूंगी. And then उसके बाद if someone is not happy with you, let it be for some time. Give it time. I think people, relationships, anyone that you have, if they really love you, they will come around, and they will respect you as a person, you as a you, and what you want to do in your life. Ultimately it's your life, right? You should be happy, so that's what really matters. So just go out there. I mean, being bold, I don't think being bold is about being rebellious or being rude to others. I don't think that's true at all. Like, being bold is just being able to state yourself. And there is a very nice book called Non-Violent Communication. Read that. It teaches you how you can actually put your thoughts out there without really sounding aggressive or upsetting. So just follow that. I think I really use that a lot, and it has helped me a lot.
Amazing. So it seems like you are a mind reader. You are able to read what is going to be the next question, and you are going to answer it beforehand. So Tanya has this question for you. How do you balance your mental health with running a business? Because we have seen so many business owners slipping into anxiety, panic, depression, and sometimes even suicide. Because that is a common fact of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is a very intimidating journey. So how do you practice mental health? And especially Mitali, like, you have got so many juggling roles, demanding roles. So how do you practice your emotional hygiene?
Yeah, I think you rightly said it, Aditya. Especially as an entrepreneur, it it eventually does put you under the pressure. Especially if you've started a business with an aim in mind, and then if suddenly that is not happening, it does make you anxious. It does make you very stressed out, I would say. So it's very important to give yourself your me time. Even for my friends who are mothers and who are not entrepreneurs, but just mothers, I always tell them that it's very important to have your me time. So whether no matter who you are, right, we all need that little bit of 60 minutes to yourself. And I'm not saying me time matlab pura din you just go and just sit and Netflix all day. That is not me time, right? Then you're going to cause other problems, and there'll be more stress. But I think 60 minutes of your time every day, where either you're just watching some TV, go look for,
Mhm.
I mean, I would say go look for resources which make you happy. So for me, sometimes it's just browsing on shopping websites. Not really shopping, but sometimes I just go and I mean, I'll be like putting things in my cart, and that really just calms me down. And then it's
Mhm.
exercise, cycling. It can be salsa, it can be yoga, it can be whatever you like, but give yourself that time where you actually are able to practice mindfulness. And I think that only happens when you're really disconnected from the regular your regular setup. So do that. I think me time is what has really helped me.
Amazing. So my question to you is, with your me time, with your mom time, with your wife time, with your daughter time, with your business owner time, how do you stay in touch with your network? Because again, the same question 24 hours. How do you decide, okay, I need to stay in touch with my community, with my trainers. I have to
Yeah.
also stay in touch with my stakeholders. How do you find out time for that?
So I'll be very honest. I actually plan all of this. So trust me. But in my every day, we have this one thing that we do with our team, which is we write our wins for the day. So we don't call it our to dos. We actually call it wins for the day. So we go after what we are going to do every day, and every day I tell me or my team to actually to make sure that they are making those two calls that are not about getting something from them, but just to call people, just to connect with people. Because as we say, you won't believe it, but the recent, the business that we are actually getting now are people we have been talking to for the past, I think, 6 7 months ago. We just dropped a hi hello, and now they know what we do, and they've come to us now. And that hi hello was not done with this intention ki 6 mahine baad hi aayega, you know what I'm saying. So generally, I think your network, you keep them warm, as we say that, keep them warmed up, stay in touch, and I encourage my team also to do that. So that's literally on my to do.
Amazing. So now, Naveen wants to understand from you, how was your training experience with United Breweries? Because people say, "Na, oh, alcoholic beverage company, क्या training हुई होगी?" So how was your training experience?
No, I think training experience, whether it is with United Breweries, whether it is with any other client of ours, it's just, it's about the topic, right? So the topic really is important. So depending on what our topics that we're training on, it really doesn't matter. And yeah, that's really it. The training experience has been great. Till date, I have not really had a client where I've come back and said, "ये client के साथ वापस काम नहीं चाहिए." Thankfully, that has not happened, and that's how it's been.
Amazing. Now, Amit is curious to know, how many languages can you speak?
Amit, I don't speak a lot of languages. I speak English, I speak Hindi, I speak Marathi. I learned French. I also have a French connection in my family, so I'm hoping that more French will come my way. But I think that's about it. And the other trainers, I encourage them to teach me. So every time I actually talk to my trainers who are outside the country, I do ask them to teach me some basic words so that I can learn a little new, something new.
Great, great, great. So, Suman has a question. How many times does your me time clashes with your business obligation?
Suman, good question. I think it clashes. It clashes at times when I decide and I let it clash. Okay, I'll be very honest. If I put it in my calendar that I'm not available for anyone or anybody, then I don't let that break in. Sometimes, however, if priority, so if I know that something has, for example, like last week, as I mentioned, we were shooting and literally 16 hours of shoot, and then we had a turnaround time of delivering a corporate video in 5 days. I think it was a record breaking time. And that is a time when my me time took a big hit. I did not feel very good about not being able to exercise or not being able to really even shop. But what I did is I compensated. After the whole week, after I delivered the product and after we delivered our video, our client actually has come back to us and said, "Oh my god, we can't believe you've done this." So uske baad मैंने एक full day छुट्टी ले ली. And then I'm like, now full day is my me time. So I spend time with my kids, I spend time with my with my husband. I made sure that with my friends, just made sure I relaxed, and then I also shopped.
Great, great, great. So, Naveen has this question: how do you nurture and retain your trainers from long time? Because we can understand L&D is a space which is totally commercially driven, and again, engaging the trainers for a long term versus commercially engaging them. How do you ensure this? I'm nowhere associated with Naveen. I'm telling you this, whether you'll say, Aditya, ये तुम्हारे question है या audience के question है?
Nahi, nahi, Aditya, but you know this, right? I think you can actually talk about this. We've been working now for how long? It's been, I think, more than 2 years.
2019. Yes, yes, yes. We connected in
Almost
2019.
2019,
2 years.
and this is 2021. So,
Yes.
right? 2020, we hardly, it was not like it was a work where I was coming to you, "Kya Aditya, client, 15 din." That was not happening. But at the same time, what we did is, so literally, Naveen, with my trainers, because I know that the struggle was not just my own. I made sure I was talking to my trainers, and we were collaborating on ideas, and we actually came up with some ideas to run, like, you won't believe it, but literally free programs. I was also delivering some free programs, but trainers were also delivering some free programs, and we collaborated. And I think that is what really helped, right? Because we were able to understand what we were all going through in 2020. And we came up with this amazing online forum called Brew Bites. that helped me connect with my trainers again, I think, and that really helped. And then we've been in touch. It's important again to keep nurturing them, to find out if there is something you can do for them. It's not always about what they can do for you. I think that's what really, I think Aditya can say that, right? That's really what matters.
Amazing. Amazing. So Mitali has this beautiful craft, and that is why it's people craft of networking and connecting and bringing people close together. So one of the things which I have learned from Mitali is the importance of nurturing your network. How are you nurturing your network? Because whenever I see Mitali and PeopleKraft page and the team members Aparna and Sheetal, they're always sharing something aspirational. So I feel proud to look at the progress that the team is making, be it the video shoot, be it the international collaboration with Australia, which Mitali was mentioning. So it's so promising and aspirational that if you would like to associate, you know what you are looking at. So that's really promising. Now, Nitish has a question. You come from a non-maths background, so you had to develop your analytical capacity and also your emotional quotient. And as a business owner, we have to understand finance, HR, operations, and other parts. Now, one of the ways to hire smart people, but how did you personally prepare and groom yourself?
So, Nitish, I think Aditya mentioned, right, hire smart people is one, but I'm
Hmm.
telling you, you can never hire someone and give them things to just manage on their own. I literally put my heart and my soul into numbers. Numbers was never my thing. But I
Hmm.
sat and literally, and then even my team, right? Like we sit and we open a calculator and we'll make sure we use, we literally go the traditional way. So when it came to developing the analytical capacity, honestly, I put myself into it entirely. It was not something that I could just say, "Ki aap dekh lo, aap kar lo." Jab tak you don't put yourself into it completely, your business will not grow. You need to, I mean, it's very easy, right? Like imagine a trainer who's sitting and working in some other corner of the world. I can just say, "Arey, kaam mil gaya, trainer bhi mil gaya, you know, everything is set, abhi jaake aap karo." That never happened. I mean, even when the programs were happening, Aditya, you know, right? I have actually traveled to places to suddenly check if everything is in order. And if things were not in order, then we've got them in order. I mean, it's not about going and saying कि मैं देखने आ रही हूँ कि आप क्या नहीं कर रहे हो. But it was more about literally going and collaborating again with partners across to make sure that, you know, we could come up with solutions together. That's how I've always worked with my team also. It's, we are all accountable as people craft as a company, and that is something which actually which helps.
Amazing. Now, this is a follow-up question from Shubham. How can you be punctual and manage business simultaneously? As Shubham has a confession, he's not punctual. And let's be honest, not everyone is self-motivated, but we have got high aspirations. And you can understand we have got a mute swings also. Sometimes where we are like, "Arey yaar, band karo, kuch bhi ho, I don't want to do." So how do you hold yourself accountable without having this pressure कि people are coming and motivating you, Mitali, you can do it, and you're like, अरे यार चुप करो, मुझे motivation नहीं चाहिए. So how do you hold yourself accountable?
Shubham, how do you hold yourself accountable? And especially if you know that there is something which you're, you know, you are confessing to, you're not punctual. It is, I mean, it's good that you are aware. That's a very important thing. Second thing is, I think, which is something I even teach my, you know, my kids. Consequence क्या है? अगर आप कुछ नहीं करो, so there has to be a consequence to it, right? So if you focus on the consequence, if you know that हाँ मुझे ये चल जाएगा, then I guess it's okay. But if I know that if I don't go for this plan, or if I am not in a position, if I'm going to get delayed, and if I'm okay with it कि नहीं हो रहा है तो नहीं होने दो, so then that means that consequence is not a very big thing for me, and I'm okay with it. So that driver, I would say, what drives you to want to even make that plan is very important. And that's what it is.
Great, great, great. So Tanya has another question. How do you bounce back from any personal setback? Because every day we need to show up in our business. ठीक है यार, proposal lost हुआ, let's smile, let's work on next proposal. So how do you bounce back?
So personal setbacks, Tanya, there have been quite a lot, right? Like especially again, this year was a year where there were a lot of setbacks. what actually helped me bounce back, I would say, is uh, the whole the I would say PeopleKraft has given me a kick. It gives me a very different feeling in life, where I feel so proud of what I'm doing, what I'm able to do with PeopleKraft, for my kids, for my family, and for myself, the kind of life I'm able to provide. So I tell myself that nahi, you need to come back, you need to tell ye nahi hua to no problem, let's sit and analyze why it didn't happen, so that we are not really going after things the same way again. So that is one. Secondly, I think my team, they really play a very important role. So we have gone through such lows as a team, where we've really like worked very hard, created proposals, and gone after, ye email 12 baje tak chale hi jana chahiye. There have been those kind of days, and we've worked really very very hard. And then the client suddenly is like, "Arey nahi, we don't know, ऊपर से आ गया कि अब ये नहीं हो सकता है," and there is no reason given. So but we tell each other, कोई बात नहीं, at least हमने ये दो नई चीज तो कर ली, at least we've developed that. So I think those kind of motivation around you really helps you kind of come back.
Great, great. And Pampy has a question around this, that how did you analyze your competitive market when you decided that, okay, this is it, I'm getting into this space? What was the measure you took, or what was your initial homework?
Pampy, initial homework, I would say, honestly, I did not do any homework. I just went after it, with my own skills, with my own intuition on how and what kind of work I wanted to do. Of course, my experience. So I made sure I looked at areas which I knew were my strength areas, and I went after just doing my good work. Uh, Competition, I think this year, especially because there were so many, everyone was talking about online webinars. So what we wanted to do was, you do check your what's kind of going on in your industry. So you go on LinkedIn, or you just generally do a lot of homework with regards to finding out what's happening in the market. I really don't think I was ever into a position where I said ki chalo ye mera competitor hai, ye kya kar raha hai. I never did that. I just genuinely went after what I knew was our strength product, and what we could do, and I had a great team. So it really didn't matter so much to me. But I mean, yeah, I think if there is competition, it's good. It helps you generally, go after things in a little slightly, I would say, competitive way, which is healthy.
Amazing, amazing. So Shubham has this question. Shubham would like to understand from you, as because of COVID, many business suffered, and all of us are looking forward to budget. What is your expectation from the upcoming budget as an
When
entrepreneur, as a business owner?
So I think my expectation is just that we should all be kind of be more prepared, I would say. And I'm hoping that something can be done about the GSTs, because especially with international work coming in, and oh god, it is sometimes a little challenging. But that's when I think the CA really helps a lot.
CA are like glucose for us, who motivate us. करो ना business. हम है ना
हाँ,
tax pay करने के लिए, आप चिंता मत
हाँ,
करो.
है, हम भरेंगे टैक्स, नो प्रॉब्लम, ऑफ कोर्स वी, बट फिर हमको हमको दिखाओ कि देयर इज समथिंग हैपनिंग आल्सो.
Good, good, good. So I'll just take the last question from Kunal. And Kunal says, what factors did you keep in mind while taking your foreign client, especially during and after COVID? Because you might have to visit their location. As we know that online is just a facilitation mode.
Yeah. So, what factors do you keep in mind while taking foreign clients? I would say, first of all, it is important right now to be very sure of, the safety, the fact that you are not really taking up something which is very high risk. At the same time, I was attending a program just a couple of days ago, and the trainer actually said something great. He said, "Ki if you are taking all the precautions, the COVID hoga hi nahi." That's what he said. And I found that very inspiring, because I generally feel like life has to go on. Like, you can't really stop or say no to everything because of what's happening around you. Uh, and I think clients are also understanding that they are not really expecting you to come and visit them, and they're okay with that. So somewhere you'll have to just figure it out, which is the thin line. When travel is ready, I think we should all start traveling again. That's what we should do.
Amazing.
Take your vaccine
So
though. I mean,
great. That's a great one. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you have been waiting for. But before I declare that secret giveaway moment, I would like to ask Mitali. Mitali, thank you. We had a 60 minutes. We are reaching the 90 minutes. Thank you for taking out time Sunday evening and sharing with us. So, Mitali, how has been your experience? Because I would really like to understand from our speakers on this live streaming where we are streaming across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So I would like to understand from your experience because our audience would really love to listen to your thoughts.
I think this experience was really great. Aditya, thank you for bringing this platform. I think, and I'm glad that we got the opportunity to talk and I got the opportunity to share my thoughts. I really hope that the viewers have actually taken something with them after today's program. And it was a great experience. Honestly, I never even knew when you said ki karenge live karenge, and I still had to explain to my family what was going on. They actually thought I'm going to be sitting in a studio when I said studio login hai. So
Hmm.
I think it's crazy where we've reached. I think technology has really become very advanced, and you are sitting in Delhi, I'm sitting here in Mumbai, and it doesn't feel like that. So thank you for bringing this platform here and for
Hmm.
giving me an opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
Likewise. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to comment in the chat box what is one thing that you are taking away from Mitali's session today. Comment in the chat box. So let's see what are we getting. One word would also do. One sentence would also do. Do comment it. So let's give few seconds. People are typing in.
Sure.
So it's really amazing, Mitali. You shared, and we have got such a rich, diverse audience who stick around for these live session, and they share a lot. So just one word. What is your takeaway? Okay. So Kunal has written from Facebook. She's a Wonder Woman. Uh, Shubham has mentioned suggestions, the suggestions you gave. So do type in, do type in. Do remember there is a giveaway after you type in these things. So this is another incentive for you to type in. And I'll also know who is there in the live stream so that I'll say that, wow,
Three corners.
three corners. Sunil mentioned the book, Nonviolence Communication.
Yeah.
Being persistent, Pampy mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting. Come on, do type in. We are just getting in more this thing because this is the part where I get to know how many people have stuck around till the end. So Sheetal has mentioned persistence. Thanks, Sheetal, for joining and see your team is also there. Brownie point. Tomorrow they'll say, hey, we were there on your live working hours. Pe le lena. Then Shekhar is there. Shekhar strength your why, and you will find how. And you also mentioned understand your what you are going to do. Shubham mentioned being frank. Naveen mentioned insightful knowledge. Again, Shavik has also got this amazing things. Um, Pampi has mentioned enjoying. Shavik mentioned your three corners trick, the right attitude to sustain. Amazing. Now, all of them would remember your three corner trick.
The
Amazing,
three
amazing.
corners, no?
Shweta mentioned great session. Poshali is saying important points to keep in mind always when you are starting. And Naveen, uh, great session. Compliments are flowing in. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I've decided who is going to be our giveaway members. I'm just checking is that member sticking around or not. It
Aditya,
shouldn't be like
I really like how you always do this. You're giving away something. You're giving away something. I'm surprised that Tanya is not writing more comments.
no, no. Tanya is there. It's amazing how personable you are despite being a successful. Keep it up and good. So, Tanya, congratulations. You are one of our giveaway winners. Just hold on. I'll be telling you how you can claim your giveaway. So, amazing,
Awesome.
amazing. So, Amit says, Can't say one thing. A lot is coming in mind. Great, great, Amit. Impressive answer. Corporate में बहुत अच्छा करोगे. Naveen mentioned carrot and stick. Like you mentioned, we use carrot and stick in team. Uh, Harshada mentioned persistence, and your family has really enjoyed the session. See, Mitali, or your family has
Yeah, I
stuck
think,
around to see.
yeah, that's very sweet of them to like be here till the end.
Then Shubham is saying uh, leaving negative energy and
That's very important.
leaving negative energy. Uh, and okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you excited? So we have got 4 giveaway. Tanya, congratulations. You have got our first giveaway. Now, if you are excited, type in excited in the chat box. I would like to see the excitement level. Type in excited in the chat box.
Aditya,
Come on.
this is like one of your training sessions, no? You start your programs like this only. Type in excited.
That's the way to gauge, because offline a lot of things have changed and online a lot of things have changed. Offline we can easily see and see the moment I told in excited, we have got so many. Nitish is saying excited, Paushali is excited, Shubham is excited, Shavik is excited, Pampi is excited, Naveen is excited. Come on, I need more excited. Shavik is excited with exclamation. Pampi is also excited. So great. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, this is the most difficult and the typical part for me to announce the winners. But do not worry, we have got so many giveaways, so many shows. So, Kunal, congratulations. You are our second giveaway winners. Okay. And Sunil Vishnoi, congratulations. You are our third giveaway winners. So, Tanya is there, Sunil is there, Kunal is there. Who is going to be our lucky winner? Let me see. Who is going to be our lucky winner? Because this is very much. I want to see who else is there. I want to see some smiley faces in the chat. Come on, show me some smiley faces. Naveen, great. Show me some smiley faces. This is the part which I enjoy the most. Come on. We still have got one giveaway. We have still got one giveaway. Who's giving me those smiley
Come
faces?
on,
Come on. Good. Koshali has given. So, Shubham Goshal, congratulations, since you have given us 3 to 4 lines of smiley faces. So, you are a fourth giveaway members. Congratulations. So, Shubham, Sunil, Kunal, and Tanya. Now, I'll show you. But before I show you how you can claim, drop in a message to hi@coachsisodia.com with your name, email ID, phone number, and your shipping address. We would be shipping you your giveaway prize. And before we wrap up, if you would like to again have this conversation with Mitali, you can reach out to Mitali on LinkedIn and you can email her. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to PeopleKraft. You can follow their page on LinkedIn and on other platforms. Where else can people reach out, Mitali? Please guide us.
PeopleKraft can be reached on Insta and Facebook as well. We are, of
Mhm.
course, most active on LinkedIn. So please do check us out on LinkedIn and feel free to drop in an email anytime the address is mentioned. Thank you, Aditya, for sharing this.
And any final thoughts, Mitali, which you have for our viewers?
Well, my final thought I would say is if you are a mom and if you are an entrepreneur, you are a mompreneur, and don't let anyone tell you anything else in life. So just go after your dreams and do everything you can to stay happy. That's what really matters. So that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitali, for giving us an amazing start to 2021 on 31st Jan. And I look forward to again inviting you on another season of our Stories of Opportunity with Coach Sisodia.
Sure. Thank you so much, Aditya. I think it was a great session. I really enjoyed speaking over here, and thank you. Looking forward to the next season.
Thank you, Mitali. Take care and see you guys. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.